Hey everybody, sorry for being late. We had to take care of some last second technical issues. Anyways, the person next to me is known to be the loudmouth of the north. You get it? The loudmouth of the south. Anyways, everybody, please meet my awesome wife. I've been married longer than Tarzan meeting Godzilla. Please welcome Morgan. Take it away. We're talking about the freaking idiots that's flying on us, pretty much.
You mean the racist property manager?
Yep. Take it away.
Where do I start?
Start from ground zero. She lied, she retaliated, blah, blah, blah. Go for it. You know the case. You know what you heard.
Was the eviction one or before that?
Before and also the eviction.
Well, before that, since day one, she's been given a false police violation one after another.
And
she's been given this false police violation one after another that led up to where we are.
Right now, on this very freaking day. Oh, where do we start? Guys, you can find everything in the description below. Some of the court records. You'll find it very interesting to see where the case started and where it's at right now. But
where it started, she sent this false police violation, and some of them goes back before someone even lived underneath us.
yeah, there was an interesting one that
we know that because the contractor told us.
Pretty much she lied, and she's trying to cover that lie to save her job, pretty much.
What?
We have 3 people watching us now. Okay, good. This is going to be an interesting show. Excuse me, I need my Jack.
Excuse me, I had wine.
This makes
wine down because she got me so stressed where she made my asthma act up and I couldn't breathe. So that's why I'm drinking wine to wind down. What?
Junior, quiet down a little bit. But
be my good baby.
Let's just say the first one started. She said that a attendant downstairs video recorded us staying up past a certain time and saw the kids running around an apartment. Now, according to the contractors that we questioned,
no one was living downstairs at the time.
Yeah, no one.
And when I went to talk to her, and I was on the cell phone with my brother at the time, and my brother heard this too, when she was telling me to turn off the cell phone or finish my call or however she said it, but it was basically to turn off my cell phone. And I told her no, I was talking to my brother about something really important, which was really important at the time. And I think the reason she didn't want me on the cell phone is because she didn't want him to hear what she was going to tell me or something. Like she didn't want to witness or something. But I told her no, I'm talking to my brother from New York on my cell phone, and I told her I wasn't going to turn it off because we were talking about something very important, which we was at the time, because I was telling him what I heard, and it had to do with, well, like a family member, but a family friend, I should say, because he was friend of the family. But I'm not going to get into that. But she told me to turn my cell phone off at the time. So when I was talking to her, my brother heard everything she was saying. Like she was
Yelling, pretty much.
yelling at me. And when I was trying to argue, and I said, what evidence and all that, and she didn't show me. She just told me, but didn't show me. And when I argued with her, because she said, this person said that we were up till 3 a.m. And I told her, no, we weren't. We were in bed by then. And then when I kept arguing with her, that's when she said, I'm done. And then we found out later on from a contractor, I mind you, that they pay to fix stuff up. Let me remind you, this was a contractor that she paid, or that they paid to fix stuff up. He told us right after that situation, he told us no one was living downstairs at the time. Yet she said someone that was underneath us was filing complaints. Now, how can someone from underneath us file a complaint when there was no one living underneath us at the time?
Maybe it was Casper. I'm serious. This is total bull crap.
Now, this has been going on since day one, since we moved here. False lease violation after false lease violation. That led up to where we are. Now, excuse me if I mess up my sentence. Like I said, I had wine because I needed to wind down. Because after what she put me through, it got to the point where I had a panic attack and it made my asthma act up and I couldn't breathe. I mean, literally couldn't breathe. Anyway, she's been sending us since day one, since we moved here, she's been sending us lease violation after lease violation. And the first judge that we talked to when we went to court, and this was before the eviction court, when we talked to this one judge who went by our original lease, which said we had till March 30th.
Yeah, March 30th.
2021 to leave. And I guess that didn't settle with her because then she went and put the eviction thing on it. But before that, she's been sending us lease violation after lease violation. And I remember one of the lease violation was about our electric scooter / electric bike that we got. And on one of that lease violation, and let me remind you, when we had the first court hearing, she was telling that judge that she only gave us one lease violation. But no, we had on evidence that she gave us more than one. Anyway, one of the lease violation was about our electric scooter / electric bike that I bought that she claimed was the gas one. And let me tell you that it took a contractor to tell her that our electric scooter / bike, which cost me $300, by the way, was electric scooter and not a bike. And that pissed her off because it took a contractor to tell her that. And even my husband took our bike and carried it downstairs to show them because she expected us, because she thought it was a gas one, wanted us to put it in the parking lot, which if we did, someone would have,
Took off with it.
yeah, would have stole it. And that cost me like over $300. But anyway, my husband carried it down to her. And then what was it? She said,
She was still arguing, and it took the contractor to say, "Hey, that's a nice electric scooter." I showed her the plug and everything.
then carried it back upstairs.
I haven't seen the contractor back since that incident, by the way.
And we haven't seen that other one either.
A lot of people.
When we first came here.
A lot
And
of-
mind you, it was February 1st when we came here. Because even though we signed the lease on January 30th, let me tell you, we were still in hotel at the time, and we had witnesses, even a family member of mine that knows we were still at the hotel at the time when we signed the contract. Because even though she had us pay the first month's rent plus an early rent because we were supposed to be in here early, but we weren't. And so the owners, who's above her, gave us credit on that. I think it was for March when they gave us credit on that because we weren't even in there early like she thought we would be. And they gave us credit on that because the contractors were still working on remodeling this place. That we didn't get in here early, and she's trying to claim by her fabricated lease that she did that we were in here during January 30th. But January 30th is the day that we signed it, but we were still able to get in because we were still at the hotel. And I have witnesses.
Plus, there's church members that helped us.
Yeah, church members that helped us at the time. And they would tell, or we had proof, one or the other, that we were still in the hotel at the time. Because after we signed it on the 30th, after we signed it, and Chloe and Junior were with us at the time.
Yeah.
That we signed it, and then after that we took the bus back to the hotel because the contractors were still working on our place, and we were at the hotel, and she lied under oath that we were in here on that day, and we weren't because we were still at the hotel, and we have witnesses that we were still at the hotel. We didn't get in here until the day that the church member was helping us move from the hotel to here, which was
It was late at night, actually.
yeah, it was late at night, close to February 1st.
And
when
he's
we
the one
got
that
in
actually
here.
got us in the hotel and paid for the hotel thing. Since we left Kerrville, he paid the hotel and everything. So he has a copy of the bill, pretty much, of the hotel. So that will hold in court if he shows that. And the hotel will actually provide documents from when we checked in until the night when we checked out.
Checked out and then came here.
Yeah.
And then, but before that, we signed all this paperwork, and the lease that I signed, the original lease that I signed was where we would, from February 1st to March 30th, 2021. And February 1st was 2020. And then the lease expired. The original lease that we have on record expired March 30th, 2021. And we had that. And she lied to the judge
And her attorney.
and her attorney.
Her
She lied
bosses.
to the judge and her attorney and the real owners of this place. She lied because we had the original lease, but she lied to the judge and said that our lease were fabricated. Now, I'm on SSI and have a learning disability.
Disability.
Yeah, what he said. I have a learning disability and I'm on SSI. So how in the hell, excuse my language, how in the heck would I know how to fabricate a leaf? We don't even have a printer. We got rid of that when we moved. In fact, I think we gave it to my cousin.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
And
you can find that original and the fabricated in the description below. You'll be amazed.
yes. And I wouldn't even know how to begin to fabricate a leaf. But the one we gave us said February 1st and expired March 30th, 2021. That's the lease we were given. Now, what she did was she must have destroyed it or something because she lied to the judge and said that they didn't have it in the office. Now, my guess is because she said that they destroyed it because we asked for a copy. And the reason I asked for a copy for everything that we signed is because my old case manager that I had when we lived in New York told me to make a copy of everything that I ever signed to show proof in case someone lied. Now, I'm lucky that we saved this copy because she ended up lying to the judge. And like I said, I'm on SSI and have a learning disability, so how in the hell would I know, excuse my language, how in the heck would I know how to fabricate a leaf? Come on, I'm on SSI and have a learning disability. And I had a family member in New York who used to live with work for law enforcement before he retired. So I know a lot about the law. And what I've learned is
You don't do what she wants people to do, pretty much. She screwed up.
and what I've learned is, and from all the court shows I watch, is that when someone interrupts you, like she interrupted my husband on that day of the eviction case, and I woke up early so I could listen in, and I was shocked that she lied.
I'm not shocked. I knew she was going to do it.
Anyway, what I've learned from a family member of mine who used to work for law enforcement, and from all the court shows I watched, that when someone interrupts you, which
Yeah,
they interrupted my husband from what I listened in, and believe me, kept interrupting, that I learned that that the judge is supposed to hold them
in contempt.
Yeah, what he said, in contempt, supposed to hold them in contempt, which that judge didn't do. And from what I've learned and all the court shows I watch, and believe me, I watch them all, from Law and Order, Special Victims Unit.
Good show, by the way.
Yes. from
CSI, from Judge Judy. That's another one.
and from fraternity court and couples court and that other one.
Plus, we can watch court on the internet as well. So, on YouTube, they have these so-called live court feeds from the court. So it's interesting to see where it goes. But in Texas law, it clearly states that a property manager or a property owner up to a landlord is required by state law to give you a lease, even if you don't ask for it. And that's state law. If they refuse, if you question about it, that is a red flag, and I should have called the cops that day.
But when I love him. This is our baby Junior. He's 4.
Weaver said hi to Junior. Hey, Weaver. And Junior said hi. And this is Chloe, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Our baby girl, our firstborn.
I get to cut her hair tomorrow, so y'all pray for me.
No, Daddy.
So this is our 8-year-old, and this is our 4-year-old.
These are special need kids, and yeah, when I say special needs, it's a serious medical problem going on. Chronic illness.
And God made me tough because I didn't scream when I had both of them. Right?
Junior came out in the toilet, and this one came out. Morgan went into labor on Monday night when John Cena was coming down to the ring to do his show off or sound off to a promo, pretty much. The next day, let's just say.
Well, it took our cat to wake you up.
What is that supposed to mean?
It took our cat to wake you up.
I'm a hard sleeper. I'm sorry, guys.
I'm from team. And I go to school.
It's going to be homeschool.
Homeschool.
Well, because of that racist manager. I guess.
Thank God you didn't say the other word.
What?
Racist, Anyways,
well, she is towards white people, and the reason we know that is because an attorney told us that.
Yeah, and her actions speak louder than words. You can't cover that crap up.
Like I said, she's been sending us police violations since day 1, since we've been here.
Oh, it started before that, by the way. Let me tell you this. Before we signed the lease, I was coming down here to check on our apartment to see where it's at. She had the balls. Wait, she don't have balls. Never mind. She had the nerve to start her false accusations, saying I came down to the leasing office every hour of every day, which is totally, completely false.
I know that isn't true because he was in a hotel with me.
And plus, my smartphone would say where I've been that day as well.
Yeah, because he texted me on it.
Yeah.
So I know where he is.
It's stupid. She's stupid.
So she's been saying he's been there every day, and that's not true. The only time he was been there was when he was asked to come back there.
Yeah, that's it. And by the way, during that time, that's when the Harris County Transit Authority was charging bus fares during that time before COVID hit.
Yeah.
Now, if I couldn't pay the fare, I would be walking at least 2.5 hours from that hotel to the stinking so-called apartment complex.
Because the buses don't run after 6.
There's no way. And my nerve damage wouldn't allow me to walk that far even if I wanted to.
And I'm a witness that he has nerve damage because I was there in the hospital with him the whole time. Don't mess with my hair, baby. Because I was there with him the whole time at the hospital when he was at the hospital, and the doctor told him that he had 90% nerve damage because when the doctor in the ER
nut jobs.
Yeah.
Just want change money.
Yeah. They told me they
Yeah.
messed up and pinched his nerve, and they asked me if he smoked, and I said, as far as I know, he doesn't.
Well, right now, I could start with that. Well, I'm not going to go there. It's too expensive.
You lost me there. I didn't know.
Yeah, it's not the same anymore after that.
Yeah, but I'm a
surgery.
witness that he has nerve damage because I was with him in the hospital, and the doctors talked to me, and they told me we found out that they pinched his nerve, and then I had to pull the needle out and then
I was in
put it
pain
back
that day.
in, and the doctor who done it came and talked to me and asked me if he smoked, and I said, as far as I know, he doesn't, and they were showing me x-rays, and well, that's a whole nother story. I'm gonna
Yeah, we're gonna do another video on nerve damage stuff. It's gruesome. I remember when I woke up from the anesthesia that day. We're gonna get back to the.
He was out of it.
We'll get back to Leslie. The property manager here shortly. When I woke up, I was out of it, but I was so much in pain, and I had to ask the nurse for pain meds, and she refused to give me pain meds. What a butthole! I was shaking in
I was
pain.
there. I remember he was really out of it. Then he said something, and I'm like, what? Then I had to help him walk around.
Did I even walk that day? I don't even remember.
Yeah, I helped you. And I'm good because I'm his wife and I love him.
You better.
Hey, I do.
I know.
You know I do. I wouldn't marry you.
What that's supposed to mean?
I did because the point is I did because I love you.
Okay.
So don't make me mess up my sentence because I had wine. I'm on my third glass as we speak.
Only had a couple of sips here and there.
Well, I deserve it. She put me through. I mean, she almost killed me when I couldn't breathe. So.
Yeah, she literally almost kicked the bucket.
I'm saying I couldn't breathe. I'm guessing it was a panic attack that I had that made my asthma act up and my allergies and sinuses that I literally couldn't breathe. I'm telling you, my chest was tight. I felt like I skipped a breath or two. I couldn't breathe. I had to take my asthma medicine and Benadryl. And ibuprofen helps too. And let me tell you, that was in between too. I didn't take them all at once.
And on top of that, that day the ragweed levels were pretty high that day as well.
Yeah, I'm allergic to nuts.
Oh, nuts!
Yeah.
Which I wasn't allergic before until I had this little one. Then I became allergic to it. That my throat swelled up, which there were like 2 or 3 surgeries that I'm supposed to have, but I put my kids first. But it makes my throat swell up, and I'm allergic to tree nuts, pollen, apparently ragweed, and of course dust and everything. Pretty much I can make a list, but I'm not going to go on and on. But apparently when my allergies and sinuses acts up really bad, it makes my asthma act up. And sometimes when I'm stressed out or something, my eyes twitch. But this property manager, because of her lies and everything, I felt so much pressure that one day that I had a panic attack that made my asthma act up, and I couldn't literally breathe. I'm telling you. I thought I was going to end up in a hospital.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I know when I couldn't breathe because I feel it in my chest when my breath jumped or something. And I literally had to take ibuprofen or Benadryl or my asthma medicine that day. And then I had to relax and get some sleep. But now I'm drinking my wine, and that calms me down, even though it seems like I'm...
Let's not go there.
Yeah. So
We'll
if
say
I
that.
mess up my sentence, excuse me, I just had some wine. After all, I deserved it after what she put us through. But anyway, she sends us lease violation after lease violation, and some of them go far back as when someone wasn't living underneath us at the time, and we know that because the contractor told us. And then it leads up to the eviction court, and I got up early with my husband, which I'm glad I did because I heard her lie and said that our lease, which is our original lease, that we asked for a copy for, and I guess when we asked for a copy for, that's when she somehow destroyed the evidence of the first page and then created a new one with another date from the day that we signed it to January 30th, 2021. Now let me remind you, we may have signed the lease on January 30th, but we were still at the hotel at the time that even our kids were with us. And I was talking to family members the whole time, and because I give my family members updates.
Yeah, guys.
And whoever else I was talking to at the time, an update from January 30th, even though we signed it that day. Then we took the bus back to the hotel in Baytown that we were staying at.
Let's just say it was total bullcrap.
Yeah. And she was trying to tell the judge to make it like we were here on January 30th. Now, we weren't here. We were still at the hotel. And we have witnesses that we were still at the hotel. Because like I said, I keep in touch with my family members and friends, whoever I was talking to on that day. And I was giving them updates that we were still at the hotel, but we were about to move in here.
I'm trying to say that.
I know, my baby. And whoever I was talking to, we were still at the hotel. Now, she made it like that we moved in here on that day after we signed it, and that was totally false. Because we were still at the hotel. Now, how could we still be at the hotel and here at the same time?
We're Caspers, I guess.
And and let me remind you again, we have witnesses. We didn't get here until a church member was able to drive us on the 1st, and it was late at night, and the neighbors came out to see us moving our stuff in and even talk to my husband. That we moved in with what our originally said.
I'm trying to say that.
I know, I'm telling them the truth, baby.
Yeah.
Yes, Junior likes to get in my face when he wants attention.
Yeah.
That we moved. Our original lease said from the first. Now I only remember.
I said I'm trying to say that.
Yes, that I maybe, and she knows I'm an SSI and have a learning disability, so she took advantage of that to make me look stupid.
Okay.
And I'm not stupid. I may be on SSI and have a learning disability, and I'm not stupid. I know they see your chips, baby.
Yeah, and called hot chips.
Sorry, our little one likes to talk.
And he loves hot chips.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They know you. They know you love hot chips, baby.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, let Mama talk.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is a long time, guys.
Yeah. Okay.
Back to our regular schedule program.
Sorry, our little one likes to talk because he loves mommy and daddy. Okay, you don't have to show yours. You're my baby girl, but you don't have to show yours. And you're my baby boy, you don't have to show yours. Anyway.
Here, I'll show my pencil. There. Anyway. You get yelled when you lose track. Anyway, we weren't here. We didn't get here. Like I said, we had family members I was talking to at the time and friends from my high school and friends I made that we weren't. Oh, somebody here, take a chip. That we weren't here at that time because we were still in the hotel and we didn't get here till February 1st. And then a few days after we were here, take one. After we were here, my husband, even though she made us sign something that everything was new. Now, remind you, when we were signing, she didn't let us see the whole place. She just want us to sign something to say that everything was new and all that. And I asked her, I said, before I signed, I said, what? Am I signing something that I was meaning that everything is new, that you guys just worked on it or something? And she said, yes. And I said, okay, so I signed it.
Yeah, guys.
No. Okay, June. Now, after we signed it, and after we moved here, what our lease said, February 1st, and we had a church member helped us, moved in here. Now, let me remind you of something. I learned from law that you're not officially moved in until you have everything that you needed to move in here. And I learned that from a law enforcement, that you're not necessarily moved in to your place until you have everything, like your stuff and everything that you need to move in here.
Yeah.
And I know this because a police officer told us that. Now, the reason, like I said, the reason I know that is because of police. I know. I'm talking online, baby. I'm still paying attention to you, but I'm talking online. You're my baby.
Yeah, and Daddy's in it.
Yes, you're a little man. You're not necessarily moved in here until you have everything that you need and all your stuff in here. And like I said, I learned that from an officer that told us that. So that's how come we know the law. Now, we didn't get in here, like I said, till the 1st, which is what our original lease said that she claimed we fabricated. Now, I may be on SSI and have a learning disability, but it doesn't mean I'm stupid, even though she took advantage of that thinking I am. But we didn't get in here to the first. No, when we first moved in here, my husband had to call maintenance to tell them about our toilet. The minute her and the maintenance person get in here, she immediately
Harassed us.
immediately harassed us and and I heard the conversation even though I was in the other room. Even though I was in the other room with our 4-year-old and our 7-year-old. She was 7, but she just turned 8. But she was our 7-year-old at the time. Even though I was in the room with them. Hello, my baby.
Hello.
Even though I was in the other room with them, I heard her. I don't want to cuss.
Just go ahead and say it the way you feel it.
She was bitching at my husband, saying everything just got fixed and so. But it took a maintenance worker who we haven't seen on this day.
Yeah, she fired him because he stuck up for us.
Yeah, because he stuck up for us. She fired him because he told her it wasn't our fault.
It was on their side, pretty much.
And he used one of those, I don't know what you call them, but it was one of those things that you stick down the
toilet. It's like a...
That you stick down the toilet like a line or something to see if something was stuck.
And she asked, you know how to use a plunger? I said, yeah, we did, and still didn't do anything, pretty much.
Yeah.
She
asked if we had a plunger. Of course we had a plunger. We had one since we left the hotel because when the toilet overflowed at the hotel and we don't know why, I had to buy a plunger. With my money, I had to buy a plunger for that hotel, and then we kept that when we moved in case we needed it. And anyway, she was asking him about it or something, and he was talking to her, and it took that guy, who we haven't seen in a while, so I'm guessing she fired him because he agreed with us, because he told her it wasn't our fault. But when he was here that day, he ran that thing or whatever to check the toilet. Excuse me. I don't know.
I don't even know what the thing is called.
I don't know what he called them. I'm not a maintenance person.
I'm not a
But he
plumber.
used one of those things to see if something was stuck. And it took him to tell her that it wasn't our fault. That there was
issues on their
nothing.
side, pretty much.
Yeah, that there was issues on their side, but she tended to blame us. So I'm telling you, since day one, since we moved here, and we know she's racist against white people, and let me tell you, we found that out through a lawyer. And anyway, he told her that it wasn't our fault, that it was on their side or something. And let me tell you, she looked pissed or something.
Very pissed, and she walked out, stormed out, and she said that she's done.
Yeah, and that's how it went when I tried to talk her. When I tried to tell her we were up till.
Okay, it's called a snake.
Me and the kids were up till 3 a.m, and I told her to. I said, "What evidence?" We were up till 3 a.m. or something because she was going on about slamming doors and something else, and someone had a video, and I'm like. And I was on the phone with a relative at the time. And she wanted me to hang that phone up because I guess she didn't want to hear, or she didn't want anyone witnessing that she was yelling at me. And I said, no, I'm not hanging my cell phone up because I'm in the middle of an important call, which was my relative, because I was telling him something important that I heard from, it had to do with a family friend passing away or something. And I was telling my brother so he would know. And she wanted me to hang up, and I was telling her, no, I'm not hanging up. And he heard everything that she was telling me. And I said, we weren't up till 3 a.m. in the morning. We were asleep by then. She was going on and on. And then when I was arguing with her and telling her the truth, then that's when she said, I'm done.
Ow.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Let me remind y'all, you'll see this in the court documents, that we keep the hallway light on between 10 p.m. until 7 in the morning as a night light.
Because little kids, and anyone that has kids would know this, that little kids are afraid of the dark, and that's why we keep the hallway light on.
It's common sense.
So when they leave their room and they're trying to find us, they could see. In other words, they were afraid of the dark and they wanted the hallway light on as a night light because kids need night light.
Common sense.
Anyone that has kids would know that.
Yeah.
Little kids need night light and they were scared of the dark, so that's why we leave the hallway light on so they can see when they leave their room and they're trying to find their parents to cuddle with because they were scared, that so they could see in the dark and not fall over anything. Anyone that had kids will understand what I'm trying to say here.
And let me remind you, it is against state and federal law to record
or pictures
or take pictures from outside the residence, having that camera point in the residence. You have to have prior permission by the resident before you actually take pictures from the outside with the cameras pointing in. That is actually the law. I mean, our privacy was invaded, and we don't know if they caught our children running around undressed or whatever, because if we have to change them, if they caught that, that will mark against the property manager. And then she tried to cover up, saying she did not have any photos or videos of that. So she destroyed evidence and lied. Destruction of justice, pretty much. You okay?
Yeah, just went down the road too. Sorry.
So that's when we did not have blinds. They were still ordering the blinds, and maybe about a month later, we finally got blinds. So
yeah, that's when they
took
out that living room piece there. I woke up one morning and it was gone, and I'm like, wow, I can see outside or something. And that's because when they were working on the blinds and the windows.
You are not allowed by law to take pictures of anybody's children without the parental consent before you actually take the photos. And you can get in big trouble, up to a federal investigation by the FBI if caught.
And believe me, I looked up law online.
I studied law.
Ever since she started pulling this crap. Anyway, she's been harassing us since day one and sending lease violation after another. And I remember one of them I sent back to her, and I told her we couldn't accept this or something like that.
Oh, there's one interesting one that she claimed that I cussed at somebody outside. However, I did not.
I remember that. There was a lease violation where she said my husband was cussing her something and a maintenance worker. Now, I listened in and they thought I didn't. And let me tell you, my husband did not cuss at a maintenance worker. He was explaining our health issues and stuff and how we needed electricity or something. And we were, without electricity that day
for 24 hours.
And it turned out they screwed up on their end and accidentally put it downstairs when no one was living underneath us at the time. Put it downstairs instead of upstairs. And then it took a contractor to come up here to see if we had our electricity on. And we told him no, it's not on yet. And I even flipped the switch to show him that because if we had electricity, our fan would be going on. And I even flipped the switch and showed him it wasn't on yet. And then they fixed it and they switched it from upstairs.
Tell you what, she
And
let
then when somebody lived underneath us, and we talked to neighbors, they said they couldn't even hear us.
they still say that till this day.
Yeah, that they couldn't hear us, or
They have no problems with us at all.
yeah, they have. It was either they couldn't hear us or they have no problems with us when we talked to them and told them that she was claiming somebody put complained in about apartment 8. Now let me say this. We know that there are 2 apartment 8s. One that live over there behind
The
that's-
service station.
yeah, the store that's right across the field next to it.
You
Now
forgot my
there's-
beef jerky, by the way, for today.
What?
You forgot my beef jerky.
I'll buy you some, don't worry.
Sorry, guys.
I'll buy you some, don't worry. Anyway, there's a store that's right next to us, and we only see the side of it because it's across the field, and I had to find the shortcut to get there. But there's a service station that's next to us, and then there's another apartment complex. I guess
It's called Oleander Apartments, pretty much.
So that's like the first country apartment, and they have an apartment 8. And then there's the second country apartment, and we're apartment 8. So we know they have 2 apartment 8. So if there was a complaint for apartment 8, then it has to be over on the first country terrace apartments because when we talked to the neighbors and we told them there was a complaint and that she was, excuse my language, bitching about it, they told us they couldn't hear us or that we weren't the problem. So it's either her making up complaints because we learned from a lawyer that she hates white people. That's how we know that she's racist against white people. Anyway, we heard that. So there are 2 apartment 8. So the complaint she's hearing from is probably from apartment 8 that
It's across the way.
yeah, that's across the way there. And she complaining there was complaints or disturbances. And I'm like, all the people that we talked to either said we weren't the problem or that they couldn't hardly hear us. So it either has to, if she's getting complaints that she claims that it had to be from the other apartment and she's just blaming us because she hates white people, or she's just making it up herself because the people that we talked to told us that we weren't the problem and that they couldn't hardly hear us.
It's stupid.
Yeah, what does that tell you? But in the eviction, not eviction, sorry.
Eviction court.
Eviction court. I'm on my 3rd glass of wine.
It's okay.
Give me a break. She put me through hell and emotional distress. I had to have wine to calm me down here. So give me a break here.
Lord help us.
Excuse me? Anyway. Anyway, she's put it through hell since day 1, and she told my husband that whatever, what was it she ever had to take, she would see us homeless.
Pretty much when we sign the lease or the day of signing the lease, she'll say, I'll make sure if you even touch your blinds or make a peep. I'm gonna make sure your whole entire family is back on the streets.
Yeah, so she's
And by Texas law, once we sign the lease, a property manager or a landlord loses any say within the apartment unit.
let me tell you. We don't have it in front of us, but let me tell you. Are you okay, my baby? Okay. Don't scare mama like that.
It's my hot chips.
Don't scare mama like that, okay?
Where's my poopy hot chips?
You're
Junior.
right here, baby.
Sorry.
Don't scare mama like that.
Sorry about
Anyway.
that.
Anyway. Thank you, my baby. I love you. Anyway.
We love you. Go play.
I love you.
Go settle down.
Don't mess with nothing you're not supposed to, because I'm going to be checking. Hey!
We're almost done, guys. Trust us.
I love you, my baby.
I think
Yeah, me too.
there's a lot to this.
Anyway. I should. Let's talk about
Eviction
things.
thing, I think.
Okay. I'm sorry, I lost track. Let me remind you, I had 3 glasses of wine, but I know what I'm talking about. But from since day one, anyway, before I get from since day one, let me tell you, I deserve wine after the hell she put me through, believe me. Anyway, from since day one, she's been sending us, since we moved in here, sending us lease violation after lease violation, and I wish I had them in front of me because I would say,
You know what?
as I
You're back. I'll go grab
would say, as I quote and all this, she blatantly lied under oath, and let me tell you, the judge swore everybody in to tell the truth. And she lied under oath in the judge's letter. She lied under oath that we fabricated our lease, even though I have a learning disability and wouldn't, let me say this, wouldn't know how in the heck would do that. She lied under oath. Now this is the one.
That's the original lease.
This is the one that I signed. That said, lease term. The lease shall be for 1 year from February 1st, and that's when we moved in here, from February 1st, 2020, to and ending on March 30th, 2001. Now she's trying to say that this was fabricated. I said that right now.
Yeah, fabricated.
That this was fabricated. And with someone who's on SSI and has a learning disability, how in the heck would I know how to do that? Especially when we don't have a printer, because we got rid of our printer on one of our moves. And I think on the last move, we gave that printer to my cousin
Yeah, we did.
and her friend. So I don't even know how you fabricated a lease, honestly.
How in the hell we got her signature in the first place if she claims that we fabricated a lease?
She destroyed this lease, and let me tell you, she destroyed this lease because we asked for a copy, which we were going by when we lived in New York. I had a case manager, who was awesome, by the way, because
I miss her.
she always stuck up for me and my brother, and we called her Chris for short. She said it was a smart thing, and I'm putting these in her words, that it was a smart thing to save everything you sign in case somebody lies. Now, this is our original lease that she said that we fabricated. let me tell you how can we fabricate it when I have a learning disability, and when this was printed, let me remind you, printed off their own computer, which our kids were there when we signed it because it came from off their own computer. And she's trying to say we fabricated. Now, with someone with learning disability, as some people called it, we're probably handicapped, but I don't like that word. Now, who was someone who has a learning disability and as an SSI would know how to fabricate a lease? I'm telling you, I don't know. And I had
Let me see this.
an uncle who used to work for law enforcement.
Oh, this is her signature.
So we know the law. Now this is
her signature that she claimed that this is fabricated. That's her signature.
her signature that she signed. And let me remind you again, I'm sorry.
I think she's just
Our kids witnessed us because they were with us when we signed this. And she's acting like they're stupid too. But believe me, our 8-year-old would tell you this. That's her signature and my signature. Now, the fabricated lease that she did, I'm guessing, because she forged her signature, I'm guessing that she ripped off
pretty much the whole.
Probably the front page to create a new one with a different date. But our date that I signed, and I would admit this, her fabricated one was not the one that I agreed to. So in other words, she forged signatures. If anyone was renting this place, anyone that has white skin like us, rented this place, or probably a Mexican or
Latino,
or what he said, Latino, rented this place, she would rip off the top of the lease. And believe me, we heard from several people that rented this place or rented another place from the same property manager. And believe me, we talked to someone who gave us a scoop on this, who was on our side because they've been through it. And believe me, everyone that came to us were white people.
Everybody came to us was white.
Yeah, everyone that came to us was white, was going through the same thing. Well, almost the same thing, but in a different way. But still the same thing that we went through. Who dealt with her. And I gotta ask, how is she still the property manager when she has a problem with white people?
She thinks she's above the
And
law.
the person that lived next door to us, who's African American, now they
and
call
our friends now.
Who's African American, told us they've been here 8 years. Now she lets people, the property manager and people who are like her, she lets them renew their lease.
And cuss out the outside, and white people are not allowed to do anything, pretty much.
Yeah. But if it was white people like us or some other color who was like us, aren't allowed to renew their lease. Now we have one that she crossed out of tenants who's ineligible, but she told us we are always eligible. Eligible. Yeah, he said, I'm sorry. My wine's making me mess up my sentence. But she crossed this out saying we didn't have to sign it. Saying we didn't have to sign that part because we are always eligible. Yet she gave us a notice before we even asked for a lease renewal because our lease wasn't up until March. She gave us a renewal saying that our lease cannot be renewed. And we didn't even ask for it because our lease isn't even up.
She pretty much automatically denied us.
Yeah, she was the first one to deny a lease renewal before we even asked it. Even though she crossed out this, claiming, and this is for people who aren't eligible, but she crossed out this because she said we would always be eligible for it. Yet she pulled this crap because she's racist against white people. But let me say this, and I quote.
All right, Shawn Michaels or Michael Cole.
I know I watch too much WWE. Hey, I go by with what a fan favorite. I'm a fan of John Cena's Never Give Up. Anyway, and I quote, it says, "This is a friendly reminder that your lease will not be renewed." Now, let me tell you this. She lied to the judge. It said that she sent this in October.
There's the date right there, November the 6th.
No, not November 6th, November 4th. That she sent this to us, and she lied to the judge and said that she sent it in October. And I'm going to read it. Let me remind you, and I quote, it said, "This is a friendly reminder that your lease will not be renewed." Let me stop right there. This was before we even asked for it, because our original lease said, wait, where is it?
You got it over there now. All mixed up.
Hang on, let me find it.
It's all shook up.
That says it doesn't end till March 30th. Oh, sorry. That doesn't end till March 30th, 2021. And she's saying before we even asked for it, even though this claims that we have the right to ask for it, she put, "This is a friendly reminder that your lease will not be renewed. You will have to vacate the unit on or before January 31st, 2021 by midnight." And she's talking about the fabricated lease that she made up because she destroyed the original one that I signed. And her fabricated one said January 30th, and we were still at the hotel at the time. But anyway, it says, if you have any questions, please contact the office at, well,
yeah, their phone number.
Their phone number. Thank you, management.
She's a wannabe management.
Who shouldn't be working there, by the way.
A 100% asshole.
And then she claimed she gave a 30-day notice. And I have to say that. Excuse my language.
Hey, Mommy.
Yes, my baby.
I know that I'm watching Trini and Beyond.
Okay, go watch it.
Yep.
I'll be right with you. We have a 3-day notice, and she claims or lied to the judge that they gave us a 30-day notice. Bullshit.